Hi everyone, I am Bhumika Rathi. Welcome to my channel. On this channel, we are doing practices for competitive exams in which I am going to cover your English grammar the very first. And today we are doing the last topic for pronouns, which we have the spotting the error. So let's see. With the very first question that we have is for possessives and gerunds. Let's see. Unless two or more members object to him joining the club, we shall have to accept his application for membership, or there is no error in the sentence. In this sentence, we have here is an error. Him has been used. Him cannot be used. Instead of that, we will use his. With joining, with winning, we will use his. The possessive adjective his will be used before joining, which is a gerund. All right. Now let's see the second question that we have. I was surprised and pleased when I was informed of me in the contest. So instead of using me, we will use my. Why so? This is a possessive adjective that will be used before winning. Now moving on to the third question that we have. A dog may look fussy, but that wouldn't hurt a fly, or no error. So fussy means angry or arrogant. So that cannot be used along with the noun dog. We will use it, pronoun it. Now moving on to the fourth question that we have. No one can challenge destiny, isn't it? So instead of using isn't it, we will use can they. Why so? No one is representing the third person, and can, you can see here, is the verb which has been used, auxiliary verb, which you can see. So can will come out whenever we make sentence, interrogative sentence. So the auxiliary verb comes out, then the sentence begins. So instead of using isn't it, we will use can they. Now moving on to the fifth question that we have. All the doubts are cleared between you and I. Whenever using with, between, and, all these words which I told you in the rules of pronouns, along with these words we cannot use this form. Since I told you objective form of pronoun will be used with between and these kinds of words. Alright. Now moving on to the sixth question, which says, the front page story was about a schoolgirl that had hurt herself while saving a child in an accident. Since the schoolgirl is the subject, so the relative pronoun who will be used here. All right. Now moving on, we have the seventh question. The seventh question says gender and subject agreement. Let's see. The last thing that I found mother gave her only son was his blessing. So here his cannot be used since mother is used for female, and along with that, and his has been used for masculine gender, so we cannot use his. Instead of that, we will use her. So mother, the possessive case, her will be used. All right. Now let's see the eighth question that we have. It was not I who is to blame. This question I already told you when I was teaching you the rules of pronouns. In those videos, you can revise that. So instead of using is, we will use am. Why so? The verb must agree with the antecedent I. Alright, I here is the first person. So along with that, we will use the auxiliary verb that we have am. Now moving on to the ninth question that we have. I shall avail of this opportunity to meet you there. So here, along with these words, avail, some more words like avail. I told you when I was teaching you the rules of pronouns in those videos, you can see all of those words. And with those words, after that, we will use these forms, these reflexive pronouns. So myself will be used after the word avail. So it is necessary to use reflexive pronoun with avail. Due to we will use myself. All right. Moving on to the 10th question, which says, put you in my position and you will realize the problems faced in my profession. So instead of using you, we will use yourself. Put yourself in my position. Now moving on to the indefinite pronouns in which we will use the singular form. So let's see the examples that we have. Question number 11 says, each of them has to understand their responsibility. So singular form will be used instead of their. So his will be used. Each of them has to understand his responsibility. All right. Instead of using their, we will use his. Now let's see the 12th question that we have. We are proud to announce that every one of us have earned a good name. So instead of using have, which is the plural one, we will use has. So with everyone, we will use has, singular form of verb has. Now moving on to the 13th question, which is quite important. This is who versus whom trap. You guys might get confused in this. Who is used for the subject, and the word is to represent ownership. So let's see the 13th question. With what do it says? Here is the man whom I think has committed the crime. So you guys might think that I think has been there, so we will use whom. Whom cannot be used here, since I think has been an interruption which is there to make you confused. So instead of that, the man is the subject, and with that we will use who. Just there is a trick you guys need to memorize. So let's see. The man is the subject, and therefore we will use who. There is a trick you guys need to memorize. This is quite important. Check who is performing the action. I think here creates a confusion, and ignore this. Just find the true subject in the sentence. All right. After that, you can, as per that, you can use who. Now moving on to that. Moving on to the 14th question, which says he took his younger sister with himself. Himself cannot be used. Instead of that, we will use the word him. All right. Now let's see the last question that we have for today. The company is in debt and has been unable to pay their employees' salaries for the past 6 months. So instead of using there, here the company is singular noun, and along with that we will use its instead of their, the singular form. So the company is a singular noun, therefore the singular possessive adjective, which is its, should be used. One more thing here you guys can see. This one, employees. So employees is ending with s, and we are putting just apostrophe over here. All right. So this is all for today. Meet in the next video with new rules. Thank you.